Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a great night so far. Today there was a lot of opportunity, but it was definitely choppy. I saw the after hours just really picking up though. The plays were really popping off in the after hours, so I think that tomorrow is gonna be really nice. If you're not part of the team, I highly recommend you join. Subscribe, follow me on Stock Twist Twitter, as well as I also do the live stream for those that want it. Right, for YouTube members, a lot of people are enjoying it, and a lot of people are helping each other. Right. This stock was the first trader that I mentioned today, IBG. This was a big runner. This ran almost 300%. This was the number one gainer in the whole market, like small cap. I mentioned it as the first trade idea and ended up ripping face, right? I gave the trade idea on YouTube live stream the key level that I was adding the stock, and then a lot of people banked hard on it, right? Next trade idea, SLE. I mentioned that this was one of the top watches after the open time, and then this actually halted up. This ran several dollars, and a lot of people banked as well on it, right? So these are just some examples. I could go on and on, but I don't want to make I don't want to make too many recaps. So this last recap is for the YouTube videos. If you check the previous video, I literally just talked about these stocks, right? I talked about XPON the last video, and then just rip and face. I talked about BREA. I talked about Sava. I talked about BBAI. Just so many stocks, right? I could go on and on. So first stock for the video, guys, you have to keep an eye on. These are not in any order. The first one is YAS Technology. This one is a software as a service company, right? SAS. These are really hot actually. The past couple years, I noticed the sector really gaining momentum. This stock actually recently entered a definitive agreement to acquire 51% of this company. When you're looking at the stock, and this is a micro penny, right? And what have you been noticing this past couple weeks? What's the theme? The micro penny theme. You saw stocks like ATCH. You saw stocks like ADAP. You saw stock like DVLT. There's so many pennies just ripping face, and there's gonna be a lot more. And I mentioned about that a few days ago on Stock Twits. Remember, I said that micro pennies are really hot. So this stock, you have to watch those key levels. I'm gonna be watching this close this month. Next stock is Fofo. This one, someone on the team mentioned it at $5, and ended up just popping off really hard. And then this one is entering a really interesting area on the daily chart. You have to keep an eye on this stock, guys. And this is it's like one of those Chinese stocks that end up just eventually just making really crazy moves. So nothing's guaranteed, but based on how this is moving, it's one of my top watches for the coming weeks, right? Because these Chinese stocks ran a lot. Just even off of no news, the stock has no resistance right now until it breaks over, as well as it fits the micro float theme as well. One thing though you have to be careful when you're trading these Chinese stocks is that you have to be careful you don't get liquidated, right? There's times where these stocks they fall a lot without any stoppage, right? So be careful about that. So next stock, XPON. I just talked about this stock yesterday, and today there was big news angle. Trump administration, they're being really bullish in terms of this sector, right? Lithium. And I talked about how this stock actually has a new CFO. So when we're talking about fundamentally, their net loss is improving and margin stabilizing as well. This stock, I believe, also has a high short flow percentage. So there's also that short squeeze angle as well. And on top of that, there's a technical, really bullish technical setup as well. So you have to keep an eye on the lithium plays. There's a lot more, and I will be making probably more videos on it. Whenever there's a lot of hype around this sector, they tend to make a lot of moves, right? Especially with President Trump and the administration. Remember that time several years ago, he mentioned a company, Kodak. Who remembers that? And that's not in the ripping face to like $50. It was like $1 or $2, and the ripping to 50. I remember that time. That's crazy, right? So next stock, DVLT. You have to keep an eye on this, guys. This looks like a potential multi-day setup. Let's look at DVLT. I'm pretty sure I talked about this as well. If you check the chart, it made a really big move up today, and it was just consolidating And this stock reported a 467% year-over-year increase in revenue in Q2 2025. So it was recently, right? This stock has multiple angles for it: AI, data science, acoustic technology, identity verification. So when you look at the stock, you really want to see if it potentially has like a magnet towards that $1 plus level. That's a big thing you got to look out for. Remember I talked about ATCH just a few weeks ago, and that stock did exactly that. So we have to also look at the strategic partnership angle, expansion potential for DVLT. Keep an eye on this stock closely, guys. This stock, I'm going to be monitoring if it holds those key levels, those technical levels, right, for continuation. This stock also has licensing deals as well. Next stock is CYCU. This is another one of those pennies, right? I keep talking about pennies, because when it comes to small caps, a lot of the times these pennies, they get like a lot of algo type of volume. They get really big pushes. So cybersecurity, in my opinion, is a hot trend that's only going to get bigger, right? Businesses need security. They need this type of security for not just compliance but training as well, right? So when we're talking about CYCU, I was looking online, right? I saw that there was a $69 million contract backlog. So also the technical chart has a lot of range as well. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this micro penny stock closely. I'm going to see how it acts this week. Next stock, Raya. This one again, micro penny. I know a lot of you guys that follow me love pennies. Basically, penny is a stock under $1. And I'd like them too, honestly. I said in the past, I like the stocks that are cheaper. You know, I don't like trading stocks that are $20, $30, $50. Yes, I do trade them, and yes, they do go up. But me personally, I like the cheaper ones. So this stock, if you look at the technical chart, it has a multi-bottom bounce potential. The market cap is also very small. Micro penny theme, huge technical gap to fill as well. And in terms of the fundamental sector, this stock makes power solution products, inverter, generator, chargers, and just a lot of other factors as well. Raya, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the chart, how it plays out this month, right? Because this stock has a lot of range as well, similar to the other micro pennies that I just talked about early in the video. If you have any more of these pennies, let me know, guys, if you want, because I like making these videos, right? It's kind of fun talking about these stocks. So next stock you gotta watch, guys, is SHFS. This one just ended up going absolutely parabolic in the after hours. It ripped like 350%. So this stock actually had news that came out recently. This was a $150 million common stock purchase agreement with the option to increase it up to $500 million, $500 million. So the reason I'm mentioning it, I know that most of the stocks I mentioned are more of a swing trade idea, right? So some people might wonder why you're mentioning something that's up 300%. Well, it's because if you've been noticing what's been happening, right? What's been happening this month is that a lot of times these stocks end up ripping after hours. A lot, they end up gapping up the next day, right? And I'm not saying this guaranteed it's going to happen, because in my opinion, I think the news isn't really that crazy in terms of like really good, right? But still, we as traders, we trade off of price action, right? We don't trade off of opinions mainly. We trade off of price action. So what is this price action? It looks like a lot of bears got really in a bad situation. I mean, look at this chart. The stock is just constantly making higher highs, trending, riding that 9 EMA. So tomorrow, I'm going to be looking for this stock to hold that $15 level, 15 break, and we can see a pretty nice squeeze. So I'm going to be watching this stock. This stock is a micro float. So that's a recipe for disaster when it comes to bears and shorts, right? The lower the float is really dangerous. But again, like I said, the news, in terms of news, it wasn't like crazy good, but I'm going to be watching. There's only a few stocks left. So next stock we have to watch TMC. So TMC stock, I made many videos on, guys. You could check my older videos. I've been talking about the stock a long time. And this stock made really nice price action this month. I'm happy for the people that are holding TMC stock. It's the metals company, right? I could make a whole video just on TMC. There's just so much fundamental reason why this is an interesting play, right? There's just so many factors and so many catalysts as well, right? So we're talking about TMC stock. This stock is actually in the really bullish sector because they're aiming to harvest nodules from the ocean floor, and there's just a lot more factors, guys. I highly recommend you check out my older videos. I heard that TMC also has a really big catalyst coming up, the approval, right? And this stock also is in the sector where they're talking about nickel, cobalt, copper, and manganese, right? So TMC stock, if you're holding the stock, I think that was your price target, guys. I'm just curious about what's your plan, because the stock has a lot of people interested in it, and I'm also bullish on this stock, TMC, right? Especially, remember earlier I talked about the Trump administration and how these type of sectors are really starting to heat up. I think it's only going to get more, right, better. So next stock, DNN, Denison Mine. This is basically like a nuclear energy angle. So when you're talking about this stock is making a really nice uptrend. Look at this daily chart. It's breaking over those key resistance levels, and DNN is in the perfect sector that has potential, uranium sector. So if uranium prices rise, right, this stock, you have to keep an eye on this stock. As if you look at the stock, governments in North America, Europe, and Asia are increasingly supporting nuclear power. So when it comes to small caps, there's not a lot of options when we're talking about this sector, nuclear, uranium. If you have more, I know there's more, but let me know in the comments. But you have to keep an eye on DNN. So last stock for the video, guys. No, there's two more stock, IXHL. This stock I made many videos on, guys. If you could check out my older videos if you're new to the channel. But basically there was like an interview, right, with the CEO. And this stock actually is one of a kind because this patent protected combination therapy that could potentially disrupt major market for obstructive sleep apnea, generalized anxiety disorder, arthritis. Phase 2 showed up to 83% reduction in apnea events. Phase 2-3 is underway. This stock is on track to deliver the first oral therapy, guys, for sleep apnea. So IXHL, this is one of those stocks that has that disruptive type of angle. I'm going to be also watching, I also talked about how the psychedelic angle, right, for the stock. This stock has really high confidence from the management, strong buyback news, and on top of that, active collaboration with the FDA to design trial for approval access. So if you're looking at the data as well, the stock also has a really positive in terms of high remission rate, strong tolerability. And if you're looking at the reduction data, significant anxiety reduction. So IXHL, if you look at the technical chart as well, let's just pull up the technical chart. This stock is acting out exactly what I said in the previous video. You could check out my older video. I said how this was going to form that base, right? And now it's over that key level. I said many times in my older videos that 60-cent level is very, very key. And looking at it right now, this stock definitely has range towards 85 cent. And then once 85 cent break and hold, you could see a squeeze, right? I think there's kind of bears also kind of stuck in this as well, right? In my opinion, so it could squeeze as well, the squeeze factor. So last stock for the video, guys. I talked about BREA, right? This stock is a digital asset treasury play, technical setting up. So this stock, I just want to update. I said in my previous video, right, that $15 level hold, and then look at it right now. The daily chart is now setting up. It made a really big move up to almost $27 today. So this is perfectly setting up daily chart. We have to keep an eye on the stock once it breaks over and holds over 25, right, this week. So Yeah, there's just a lot of opportunity. I think this week is gonna be really hot. I mean, not this week. I mean this year. So if you're not part of the team, guys, join my team, subscribe, follow, and let's have a great year, guys. Good night and have a great sleep. I'll see you in the morning. Good night.